Dave, that Jalen Carter is a lightning rod right now. There's a lot of debate and discussion about whether would you take him, should you take him, is he going to be a problem? Is this just being overblown? That he's not directly this guy, he's a bad guy. There's a million opinions out there, but the one thing you and I have talked about in the past, and that is true, we talked about his workout, we talked about different things, that he should be on the, sort of rebuild my image tour, so to speak. Putting off just the best vibe. I'm going to show anybody who decides to take a chance on me, you are going to get your money's worth, that I am an upstanding citizen on top of being a brilliant talent. You got to put on the show. You got to put on the show. He's got millions of dollars on the line at this point, and there's a lot of hand-wringing about him. This latest thing, I think, is about as tone-deaf as it gets. And this, I don't know if he's just allowing his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, to do everything and, hey, you handle it. But they've come out and said they will not be visiting with any teams who are selecting outside of the top 10. They're just not going to waste the time. Rosenhaus's quote, "I'm confident Jalen will go in the top 10. He's a good person, a family man, loves football, and is a generational talent." I think that is a bad look. I think he's probably right. He's going to go in the top 10, I would assume. But don't you just say, if you're that guy who's got all this negative press around you, whether you think he's at fault or not, what have you, but it's there. Aren't you going out of your way saying, yeah, I'm going to talk to anybody, and wherever I land, I'm gonna make sure that team feels good about the chance they took on me.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the running back from Texas, but he went to, is it Bijan?
Bijan Robinson.
Robinson. That's how you should do it, because he said, yeah, I'm doing everything at the combine, and then I think it was the next day or 2 days later, I'm going to do everything at my pro day. Mm-hmm. And he's projected to go in the first round by a lot of people, but, he's not as high up as Jalen Carter is ranked, but especially now that you have all of this bad news following you around and the speculation that he's not a good guy and he's not a good teammate and that he's not in shape, yeah, you should be going the other way. And, Drew Rosenhaus, I've kind of heard different things about him, but I guess that's his way of sort of coming over the top, like we're confident, but it just doesn't make any sense. That's not a football thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, especially if you have something, like I said, bad news following you around, you should be more than willing to do whatever any of the 32 teams wants. And and like you said, there's just millions of dollars. Going from top 5 to, bottom of the round, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, and everything in between. What if he slips down to number 13, or who knows where he's going to go? I'm guessing he's going to go top 10. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But the fact that there's even a question, when at one point when the Bears were the number 1 pick, there's a ton of mock drafts that had him going number 1 overall. This is before the car crash news came out. Mm-hmm. This is before his workout where he was overweight and he couldn't finish. There's just these stories following him around. He should be on the Repair My Image tour. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to all these teams. I think I'm going top 10, but I'll talk to whoever's willing to make that investment in me. I'm going to show you I'm a good, upstanding kid, and I've got the talent. But Trey Wingo was a guest with Bump and Stacy, and this was his reaction to that news, that he's only going to visit teams that are in the top 10.
I just think that this guy is either not getting it or his representation isn't doing him any good, because at this point he's in damage control. That has nothing to do with his ability. It has everything to do with his mindset and what he can contribute. Like, just because you get paid doesn't mean you're a professional, right? There's things you have to go about to learn about being a pro. And with everything that happened over the combine, and then showing up heavy at his pro day and looking sluggish and out of shape, then to say I'm only talking to top 10 teams, you don't get it. Like, you don't understand what's happening here, and he needs an intervention right now.
Intervention.
He's not wrong about any of that. This would be different if none of that had happened. And he's saying, listen, I'm not going to go visit, I don't know who's at the bottom of the draft, whoever, the Bengals, whoever. I'm just throwing that out. But I get it. You could say, well, what's the point of that? Unless they're thinking they're going to trade up to the top 5 or top 10, why am I going to go visit every single team? But that's not the case. There's a lot of negativity surrounding your name right now for a few different reasons. you should be out there showing, hey, I'm not that guy, and I'm going to show you.
Yeah, and I think Drew Rosenhaus is probably trying to earn his money, and I'm going to go over the top the other way, and this is how we're going to show how confident we are, that we don't need to go begging to the NFL, but that's just not, and I don't want to get into it, but like I feel like Russ's agent sometimes, and I've blamed him a lot more than I've blamed Russ, that that, like I said before, it's not a football player thing. Like you go give more effort and then just be a football player. I'm not trying to be a businessman. I'm not trying to, do anything else other than I'm going to come to your team and I'm going to make your defense better, and I'm going to be a player that, shows up early and stays late and all of those things. And that's what being a football player is about. I mean, just look at Bobby and KJ. We were talking about them the other day and how same thing. Russell Wilson, he used to come in. Remember when they said when the dew was still on the grass?
Yeah.
He's out there, getting extra work in. And, if you have to take a couple extra trips to a team that is willing to pay you millions of dollars, I think he's getting bad advice.